All right, let's jump into another deep dive. Today, we're taking a look at Wicked. It's a phenomenon, right? But what we're really interested in is why it's hitting such a chord with Black women.
Right.
Especially after, that election. So we've got this news article.
Okay.
And it digs into some fascinating stuff, like some surprising connections between the musical and, the whole political landscape right now.
Interesting.
It's pretty wild. So the article starts with this woman, Nakai Mitchell.
Okay.
She saw the movie, get this, 4 times.
Wow.
Yeah, 4 times. And she talks about how she felt seen. Which, that's powerful, right? Especially when you think about representation and how often certain groups, they just don't feel seen.
Absolutely. That feeling of being seen, it's like finally someone gets it.
Right. It's like a recognition that your experiences matter.
Exactly.
That your story is reflected back at you.
Yeah. It's huge, especially for Black women who so often feel like their voices aren't heard.
Yeah, and Mitchell, she gets specific, like she connects this story to her own life.
Okay.
Growing up in the South, attending an all-white private school, even losing white friends during the Black Lives Matter movement.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like Elphaba and Glinda, but in real life.
That's an interesting parallel, for sure.
Right, like that whole scene where Glinda's trying to give Elphaba a makeover, saying, "I don't see color."
It's well-meaning.
Oh, yeah, totally.
But it completely misses the point.
It does. It's like good intentions, sure, but without truly understanding
exactly.
the complexities of race and identity.
And it's something so many Black women experience.
Absolutely. And the article points out how Mitchell's experience isn't unique. It's like a whole wave of Black Wicked fans taking to social media.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're all saying similar things.
Wow.
It's become this cultural touchstone.
Interesting.
We're talking about representation,
Yeah.
allyship, and feeling, othered.
It's amazing how a musical can spark those conversations.
Right. And it goes even deeper.
Oh.
Like people are drawing parallels between characters like the Wizard and Madame Morrible and, the 2024 Republican Party.
Wow.
Even Donald Trump himself.
That's a pretty bold comparison.
I know, right? Just this cultural anxiety.
I can see that.
People are questioning authority, the narratives they're being fed.
Right, like that line from The Wizard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
About giving people a real good enemy.
It's chilling when you think about it.
It is. And it's so relevant to recent political events.
Yeah, for sure.
All that propaganda and misinformation.
It's scary how easily people can be manipulated.
I know. But Wicked kind of lays it all out.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
It shows how these tactics work, how those in power exploit fear and prejudice to get what they want.
It's a good reminder to be critical thinkers.
Absolutely. Don't just believe everything you hear.
Exactly.
Question the narratives you're given.
Especially right now.
Especially now.
Yeah.
And, it's not just about Trump.
Right.
The article points out that these tactics, they transcend any one person.
It's about power.
It is.
Yeah.
And how it's used.
And who gets to use it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a sobering reminder.
It is.
To be vigilant,
Definitely.
And this whole idea of questioning authority, it's especially relevant for Black women.
Right.
They've been at the forefront of so many social justice movements.
Absolutely. They're often the ones leading the charge.
And that brings us to Cynthia Erivo as Elphaba.
Powerful casting.
Right. The first Black woman to play the role in a major production.
It adds a whole new layer to the story.
It does, and it's about time.
Exactly. Her performance and even the costumes.
They incorporate Black cultural elements. It's not just representation.
Right.
It's about reclaiming the narrative.
Taking ownership.
Yes. And seeing yourself reflected in a character who challenges expectations.
It's inspiring.
It is. And the article also brings up Sekon Semblo.
Oh, yeah. The first Black Elphaba on Broadway.
Right. And she talks about feeling othered.
Unfortunately, a feeling a lot of Black women know all too well.
Yeah, it's that feeling of navigating a world that wasn't built for you.
That doesn't value your voice.
Exactly. But then to see someone who looks like you, owning that role, challenging the status quo.
It's a powerful message.
It is.
Yeah.
And Wicked doesn't shy away from the tough stuff. Like how Elphaba is constantly judged for her appearance, her outspokenness.
The way Black women are often demonized just for speaking their truth.
Right, or just for existing.
It's a double standard that needs to be called out.
It does.
Meh.
And it makes you realize that we need more understanding, more empathy. We need a society that values diversity instead of fearing it.
Couldn't agree more.
And, well, speaking of division, remember that line from The Wizard? The best way to bring folks together is to give them a real good enemy.
Ugh, it's so manipulative.
It is. And it's so relevant today with all the fear-mongering and divisive rhetoric.
Wicked really holds up a mirror to society.
It does. And it reminds us that we have to be critical thinkers.
We can't just blindly accept what we're told.
Exactly. We have to challenge authority, stand up against injustice.
And recognize the humanity in everyone.
Even those we might disagree with.
Absolutely.
Wicked challenges us to move beyond those simple labels of good and evil.
It encourages us to look deeper.
Yes. To understand the complexities of the world around us.
And to listen to those who have been marginalized.
Their stories need to be amplified.
They do. We need to work together to create a more just and equitable world.
And on that note, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll dive even deeper into the specific themes of Wicked.
Sounds good.
We'll talk about allyship, the pressure to conform, and why representation matters so much.
Looking forward to it.
Stay with us.
All right.
Okay, so we're back and ready to keep digging into this Wicked thing. Where we talked about the politics, the representation, but there's just so much more.
Yeah.
Like, the article really breaks down the specific parts of the story
Okay.
that are really resonating with Black women.
Got it.
One of the big ones is, it's Elphaba's struggle with beauty standards.
Right.
Yeah.
Like from the very beginning.
Yeah. Glinda trying to give her that makeover.
Exactly. It's like, hide who you are.
Right. And then funny with that I don't see color line.
Oh, man, that line.
I know. Well-intentioned, but
so clueless.
totally. It's like the story's calling out this pressure
Yeah.
that Black women face.
Constantly.
Right. Like their natural features, their hair, their skin tone.
Always needing to be fixed.
It's exhausting. You know.
Absolutely. It's dehumanizing.
And it's not just looks either.
No, it goes deeper.
It's the personality too.
Yeah.
Like, be less outspoken.
Quieter, softer.
Less Elphaba.
Exactly. Don't rock the boat too much.
It's like this unspoken rule.
Oh, it's definitely spoken.
You're right, it is.
Black women are constantly told to shrink themselves,
To fit in.
to not be too much.
But Elphaba, she's like, nope,
She owns her power.
she does. And that resonates
Yeah.
with Black women who are told to change, to be accepted.
It's a powerful message.
It is like, your differences are your strengths.
Don't apologize for being you.
Exactly. And another parallel that the article makes
Okay.
is how Black women often lead these movements,
Social justice, activism.
but they don't always get the support they need.
Right, for their own struggles.
Yeah, it's like Elphaba fighting for the animals.
But also battling her own demons.
Exactly. It's like this unseen burden
The emotional labor.
that Black women carry.
Constantly fighting for everyone else.
But who's fighting for them?
Right. It makes you think about allyship.
It does. Like, are we really supporting each other?
Are we listening? Are we acknowledging the pain?
And it's not just about one group or another,
No, it's about recognizing that we're all connected
and working together to make things better.
for everyone.
Okay, so let's go back to those comparisons.
To the villains.
Yeah, it's not just the wizard's manipulation.
Right, Madame Morrible too.
She's that toxic authority figure.
Always pulling the strings.
And it's not about one political party or anything.
No, it's bigger than that.
It's about recognizing those patterns
Of abuse, of control.
wherever they pop up.
And then there's that retroactive blackface idea.
Oh yeah, from Horace Gold.
That's fascinating.
Right. It's like seeing a Black woman as Elphaba.
It makes you realize what was missing before.
It does. It's not about blaming anyone.
No, but representation matters.
It does. Seeing a story through a different lens.
It changes everything.
And Wicked, it really flips the script.
How so?
Like the whole good versus evil thing.
Right. It's all about perspective.
Exactly. What's wicked to one person?
Might be totally different to someone else.
And it makes you question those labels we put on people.
We'll make assumptions.
We do. And sometimes the villains.
Yeah.
They're the charming ones.
The ones who seem the most trustworthy.
Like Glinda.
Oh, interesting.
Right. It's like appearances can be deceiving.
Big time. True allyship. It's more than just surface level.
It's about challenging your own biases.
Confronting uncomfortable truths.
And speaking of complicated, There's Elphaba and Glinda's relationship.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole other layer.
It's messy.
Spent tension.
Betrayal, even.
And it's real.
It is. It shows the challenges of allyship.
Especially between white women and women of color.
And how privilege can blind you.
To what others are going through.
But Glinda, she grows.
She does. She starts out so self-absorbed.
Focused on popularity, the status quo.
But Elphaba, she shakes things up.
She does. And Glinda starts to see the world differently.
To understand the injustices.
It's like even those who benefit from the system,
They can change.
they can. It's about recognizing your blind spots
Listening to those who've been marginalized.
and using your privilege to fight for what's right.
It's not easy.
No, but it's necessary.
And Glinda's journey reminds us
Of what?
that it's never too late to learn, to grow.
To become a better ally.
Exactly. And Horace Gold, he makes this connection
Okay.
between Glinda and some white women during the election.
Interesting.
It's like Wicked isn't just a fantasy.
It's a reflection of our reality.
The choices we make, who we support,
It's about power and privilege,
and whether we uphold those systems.
or challenge them.
And Glinda, she shows that transformation is possible.
But it's never too late to change
To become more aware.
of the world and our place in it.
And Wicked, it gives us hope.
It does. Like even small acts of allyship can make a difference.
They can start a ripple effect.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with a few things to think about.
Okay.
This musical, it's more than just entertainment.
It's a commentary on our world.
It challenges us to think about good and evil, power, privilege,
The choices we make every day.
and representation. Seeing ourselves in these stories,
It's validating,
empowering.
and it's a call to action.
It is. To be more aware, to use our
Like
voices
to create a more just world.
for everyone.
Yeah.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground, haven't we? From like personal stories to politics.
I know, right? And all because of Wicked.
It's amazing how much this musical has sparked, right?
It really is. It's entertaining, sure, but it also makes you think.
And that's what's so great about it, I think.
It's not just escapism.
You know, it gets people talking about real issues.
Like race, allyship, power.
And it does it through storytelling.
Which is, I think, the most powerful way.
Yeah, you connect with it on a personal level.
Right, exactly. And the article, it ends with this quote from Horace Gold.
Wow,
It says, allow it to be that deep. Allow it to affect you and change your worldview. Because that's the beauty and point of art. It is supposed to expand us and help us grow and change.
That's a good one. I mean, he's right, isn't he? Art can really challenge us
It can. It makes us question what we believe.
and open our minds to new possibilities.
And Wicked, it makes us re-examine those old stories.
Yeah, the ones we've always been told.
About good and evil, power, all of it.
So as we wrap up,
Okay.
we want to leave you with some questions, I guess. How has Wicked challenged you?
Yeah, what parts resonated the most?
And maybe even more importantly,
Okay.
how can you take what you've learned and apply it to your own life?
Right, like how can you be a better ally?
How can you help create a more just world?
Because that's what it's all about, right?
It is. It's not just about watching a musical.
It's about using art
That's
to
a good
grow,
And to make a difference.
to make the world a better place.
Well said. So thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Wicked.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone.
We hope you keep thinking about these things.
And keep the conversation going.
Absolutely. See you next time.